Shabbat Shalom to the 144,000, the governing body of the nation of Israel, 12,000 from each tribe. And Shalom to the rest of the elect out there. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim pushing this gospel, this good news, the world over, in sincerity and in truth. Adawan Ratazah, that is to say, Lord willing. You know, so Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And hey, you know, you can see the times that we're in, all right, from the article, all right, on your screen, all right, and this is from the Telegraph, okay, which is a UK news, all right, media source, all right, news outlet, and this is actually recent, all right, from the 23rd of January 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, all right. You can see the headline says, World faces second wave of disruptions from Red Sea crisis, warns shipping giant. Okay. And, you know, during the you-know-what that kicked off in 2020, all right, many people, you know, had to line up in front of stores, all right, just to get toilet paper, necessities, things like that, all right. And then eventually they brought in the face masks, all right. You know, and if you didn't comply, you know, they could refuse your service if you didn't, you know, take heed, all right. So what's transpiring here, all right, will be worse off, all right, off of the back of this. You see. Now the article says the world must brace for a second wave of trade disruptions from the Red Sea crisis, even after the conflict has been resolved. The boss of a shipping giant has warned delays could last for months, even after Houthi attacks on ships passing through the Bab el Mandeb Strait have stopped, according to Cameron Bowie, UK Managing Director of Hapag-Lloyd. It is the latest sign that the crisis could keep inflation higher for longer as higher shipping costs filter through the world economy. That's right, and you know we're heading into hyperinflation. You see, says Mr. Bowie said, even after we're able to resume going through the Suez Canal, we will have vessels in the wrong place. We will have equipment in the wrong place. We will have challenges to try and get the vessels back into their normal operating rhythm. That is the second wave of concern that we need to manage. That will not happen in 1 or 2 months. It could certainly be more than that. Right? It says hundreds of ships have been rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope since Iran-backed rebels ramped up attacks on commercial ships passing through the narrow shipping channel in mid-December. The Houthis have carried out more than 30 attacks on commercial ships, sparking an international naval response and retaliatory missile strikes from the US and UK. The Houthis say the attacks are in response to the Israel-Hamas war. Okay, and here we have a map of, you know, basically the disruption impacts of the global shipping. Some 17,000 ships and between 10 to 12% of global trade pass through it every year. Okay, so that's what happens. See, all right. It says Hapag-Lloyd operates the fifth largest fleet of container ships in the world with nearly 7 PC of all container ship capacity, according to Alphaliner, the shipping data provider. It was one of the first major shipping companies to announce it was suspending transits through the Red Sea in mid-December alongside Maersk and MSC, and has now rerouted roughly 45 ships around the Cape of Good Hope. Okay. You see, and hey, goods that are dependent upon, you know, trading and things like that. You see. So hey, this is definitely gonna be very impactful, right? Negatively, right? The Bible tells us in the book of Second Esdras in the Apocrypha, all right. If we can go get it now, Second Esdras chapter 16, and verse 14, about this. All right. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth, and that's what we're experiencing. All right. So supply chain shortages, all right, lack of goods, okay, that's going to cause what? Mass layoffs, all right. You know, people getting more and more desperate due to that. Business closures as well. Okay, famines too. All right. Hey, look, the same thing. All right, happened during the shamdemic. All right, certain goods were not coming in. All right, some at least the desired amount they wanted. All right. So hey, rioting is gonna ensue. All right. Lack of food, lack of water. Okay. And then cannibalism will happen. You see. Let's get back to the article. All right. It says Hapag-Lloyd held firm in its decision to avoid the Red Sea even after the announcement of the U.S.-led naval escort operation Prosperity Guardian. The US-led military intervention announced before Christmas was supposed to offer a safe passage for ships. Maersk announced it would relaunch transits through the Red Sea at the end of December. Hapag-Lloyd said it was still too dangerous, in quotes. Days later, another Maersk ship was attacked and the company suspended all transits again indefinitely. So, this is going to be more frequent, all right? If we jump to the paragraph ahead, it says, since then, the disruptions have spread to the energy sector, with a wave of tanker companies, including Shell and Qatar Energy, suspending transits indefinitely. All right, so it's impacting, all industries and everything. All right, so it's got that domino effect, man. Okay. It says Bowie says there is unlikely to be any change to the disruption in the short term. We look at it weekly and we make decisions on a weekly basis, trying to plan much further forward than that is just really very, very difficult to do. You see? So yeah, that's where we're heading to, man. Alright? It's all going downhill now, man. Okay. So the devil thinks, he's got perpetual rulership. Well, he's in for a rude awakening. Okay. Everything's falling, man. Ships traveling through the Bab el Mandeb Strait are on transit to or from the Suez Canal, the conduit which accounts for 12 PC of global seaborne trade. The diversions around South Africa are adding 10 to 14 days to delivery time for goods, while also causing shipping costs between Europe and Asia to soar by 170 PC, industry data shows. Okay, so the time it takes to reach to its designated places. All right, that's going to be more problematic. Plus the cost as well. Rerouting has sent Hapag-Lloyd's fuel bill soaring. All right, so now, oh, now they've got to cover their expenses of bills now even more. Says we're looking at two-digit millions of dollars per month. Says Bowie. It's not just the fact these ships are going a longer route, so taking longer to get to where it needs to be, right? Also, it's the fact that these ships are going quicker because they're trying to make up time, right? So that's basically that. All right, it's basically that. A lot of people in the West don't consider that these things will affect them just because it's happening somewhere else. All right, especially you Babylonians in America who basically you know have that comfortability. No, you live that comfortability lifestyle, all right, by having things done in basically an instant gratification manner. All right, you know you don't have to basically cope and live with the same things that someone in a third world, so-called third world country would live in. Okay, because it's not reached the shores of America, but it's surely coming. All right, let's get the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 13. All right, and it reads, "He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong." So that's what's happening, man. This devil, all right. He creates more wars, man. Creates more conflicts, all right. He finances both sides of wars, all right, to get his plans and agenda going. Okay, and now this supply structure is it's affecting these countries, especially these Edomite countries. Okay, And he, you know, he really believes he's going somewhere, right? In terms of, he believes he's gonna get his new world order underway, all right? But really, it's the Most High, pulling the strings, okay? The supply chain shortages will then, wreak havoc in Babylon the Great, all right, America, all right? And on top of that, now you got all these, you know, these immigrants coming to America, all right, which need help, of course. And you mainly see, men, all right? You don't even see women and children. So, something is up, man. So you'll have spies amongst them, things like that, right? And they will receive, housing benefits, be placed in hotels, things like that. Whereas, you have the people who've been paying into the system, you know, all their lives, all right? Citizens been paying into the system all their lives, all right? They're going to be in uproar, they're going to be complaining, all right? They're being pushed to the back while these migrants, you know, get better treatment, all right? Get pushed to the front of the queue. So guess what? This will erupt into a civil war, all right? These people's finances aren't earning much anymore. They're not up there anymore as things get more expensive. Right, student loan payments are starting up again. All right, rent going through the roof. Right, inflation going up. So all hell will break loose, and this year is looking like it. You see. Let's get the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, and verse 1, and it reads, "Woe, meaning anguish, pain, misery, destruction. All right, to thee that spoilest, and you was not spoiled, and you dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with you. When you shall cease to spoil, you shall be spoiled, and when you shall make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with you." Okay, so all these Edomite nations, especially America, has spoiled, pillaged, robbed, raped nations and people, stolen lands, stolen us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Okay, stole, you know, Southern Kingdom, right, from the shores of West Africa for what, the transatlantic slave trade, and brought us over to the land of America, man. Okay, where Northern Kingdom dwells at. All right, that's why in Jeremiah chapter 15 verse 33 mentions that Judah. In fact, let's get that now. Both tribes, both kingdoms are pressed together. Judah and Ephraim are pressed together. Judah represents Southern Kingdom. Ephraim represents Northern Kingdom. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together, and all them that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go, and we're still found in, our enemies' hands now. We're still in captivity. Okay. All right. And America was the place where that happened, man. Okay. All 12 tribes are in Babylon the Great, being oppressed by the same devil, Edom. You see? And that's the case. All right. So, these they have a lot to play for. All right. The stolen artifacts, rename lands. All right. Set up their government elsewhere. All right. Colonized. You name it, man. All right. See, so these devils, man, they were spoiling. Okay. But they were not spoiled. All right. Setting up coups. They did that too. All right. See, they bask and rejoice in their, and live in their stolen riches, man. Their unjustly required wealth, wealth that the ill-gotten gains that they got unjustly. All right. So what's going on in the Red Sea, man? All right. Things are starting to work against the nation of Edom, the so-called white people. All right. So this devil is losing his power, man. All right. His tentacles of power, he has wrapped around the world. He's losing his grip. You see, right? Scripture talks about, stealeth a man, right? That's what this devil's done, man. Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And, these devil, man, will be put to death, man. Okay? Ultimately. Alright? Taking away uh, sons and daughters from parents, stripped away, family members from other family members, relatives. Alright? Sold us on auction blocks. Hey, you're exposed, man. Alright? And Eden must be exposed before it goes down. Okay? Let's get the book of 2nd Esdras again. Chapter 15, verse 14. Alright? This is Prophet Esdras speaking, man. Alright? Verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. You see? So misery, right, to the world, right, and its inhabitants, man. Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Right, the sword is, is a killing instrument. The modern day killing instrument is the gun. Okay? And Esau sharpening his sword, man. He's got these ICBM missiles and robot dogs, and they've got some things that you ain't seen that it's about to unleash, man. Especially in 2/3 in Babylon the Great, man. All right, he's gonna go down fighting. All right, the devil, he knows he knows that he has but a short time. You see, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, and that's going into like your race wars and things like that, class wars. All right, and we see these things happening already. All right, we see all these protests going on, things like that, over different things. All right, people boycotting things, striking, with like cost of living and things like that. Also, people being laid off. There's one other one I'm trying to think of as well. All right, like pay as well. That's it. Things like that. And you got that, the Palestinian protest as well, which the word Palestine really goes back to, you know, Philistine, which were the Hamites, man. All right, and those Palestinians today, they descend back to the Arabs, which their biblical ethnicity is Ishmael. The Ishmaelites. You know, and they're fighting the Amalekites. The guys who commit identity fraud, claiming to be us, the 1948ers, the Ish people. That we got you have that conflict going on. You see, you know. So that land of Israel, that belongs to us Israelites, man. Not those, heathens devouring our land in our presence, as it says in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 7. Okay? The land of Israel, that was formerly known as the land of Canaan before the Israelites conquered it. See? So these are the times that we're coming to. Alright? Let's get the book of Jeremiah chapter 51. And go to verse 14. It says, Ha-Adawan Yahweh Tazabawath hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Right? So that invading force, all these immigrants coming in, right? Foreign military troops as well. Okay? And even some of them, have been given the ability to even join the police force and other authoritative positions of power. Okay? And guess what? They're going to use that to their advantage. You see? So, hey, you can see turmoil ensuing. Let's go back to 2nd Esdras chapter 15. Alright. And verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Okay? And when people can't get the necessities that they want, you know, they're gonna go into desperation mode, man. Take the law into their own hands. Okay? Just like you saw a basic glimpse of that, alright? During the C19, alright? They were brawling and fighting over, toilet paper. Alright, same with petrol. Alright, when there were petrol shortages, gas shortages. Alright, so how much more, for the war, you know, for those goods? Alright, you got your victuals like water, food, alright? You got things like clothing, alright? So people will justify themselves to do whatever they want to do, alright? So they ain't going to care what their mayors are saying. They're not going to care what the prime minister's saying. They're not going to care what their, you know, presidents are saying. They're not going to care about any of that. They're not going to care about what the police are saying, alright? Again, they'll take their actions into their own hands, you see? Verse 17, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Alright, so there goes your lockdowns. Alright, and people seem to forget about 2020 and 2021 as well. Alright, you had, multiple lockdowns, you see? But 2020 was that major one, man. Where you had like your ghost towns and things like that. I remember when I came back from abroad. Right, and I was wondering why everything was just so quiet. On route to work, I was like, where's everyone? You see? So another global shutdown is coming, right? Why do you think they want people using electric cars? Like your Teslas, which I don't recommend you get. You know, things like that. I don't recommend you buying that. All right? See, they want to track you, man. You see? They want to know where you're driving, right? What zone you're crossing, right? Don't forget your smart cities, all right? 15-minute cities. Okay, they want to keep the people cooped up so they can have more, control over people and things like that. All right, because then they'll have the ability to, to slow your car down, shut it off altogether. You see, if you piss them off. All right, verse 18. "For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." All right. Verse 19, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." That's right, lack of food. Alright, so expect less food on shelves, alright, as well as smaller quantity products as well. Okay, and people are gonna raid each other, man. Good neighbors that have been neighbors for years are gonna raid each other as if they were enemies. Okay, and there's gonna be chaos in the streets, man. Alright, gangs gonna be forming, saying, "Hey, we know this person has food over here. Let's go break into this house, so and so." Alright, and things like that. That's what's gonna happen, man. Okay, they're not gonna have pity upon one another, man. Alright, that's the love of many waxing cold. Okay, because the law, statutes, the commandments are not in place on the earth, man. Okay, because when the wicked are in rulership, the people are mourning. Right, but when the righteous, right, are ruling, the people rejoice. But we don't see that now. You see, the wicked are bearing rule. Okay, that's why everyone's in an uproar and things like that, man. Okay, and things like that. So yeah, expect a smaller quantity of products, as well that you purchase from time to time. You may buy a meal deal sandwich with a snack and drink, and you notice the sandwich is a lot smaller than what it was a few weeks ago, even for the same price that you bought it back then, or higher. Okay, we know something called shrinkflation. Oh, in fact, I'll look it up this way. Okay. So shrinkflation, economic shrinkflation, also known as the grocery shrink ray, deflation or package downsizing, is the process of items shrinking in size or quantity, or even sometimes reformulating or reducing quality, while their prices remain the same or increase. So there you go. That tells you right there. You see, you know, you might buy a packet of crisps, half of it filled with crisp, and the rest is just oxygen. The rest is just air. All right, and it's been happening a while, but it's gonna get worse. Okay, so there goes your shrinkflation. Okay, so go back to second address. All right, go to chapter 6. All right, second address, chapter 6. Go to verse 22, and it reads, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." That's right, your grocery stores, your supermarkets. Okay, all right. And what comes in early? Them trucks with all the goods in, right, to load it into the, you know, behind, where the supermarkets are, man. Okay, and soon they're gonna be empty, man. All right. So this is where we're coming to. All right. You even had Admiral Rob Bauer, who basically chairs the NATO's military committee, and he said, to stock up and make basic preparations for, a potential full-blown war. Okay, stock up on goods. Have more water, have more food, things like that, man. Now, in the spirit, there's nothing wrong in prepping. All right, getting a little extra, but we know that at the end of the day, that will not, save us from destruction. Okay, if you have the financial means and ability to do so, do it. All right, but don't get caught up in that. Okay, having extra this and extra that is good, but if you don't have the law, then it's futile. Okay, and if that's from the NATO's military committee saying that, then hey, I don't know what to tell you because they're telling you outright. They are telling you outright what's going to go down. Okay, verse 23: "And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid." Okay, verse 24: "At that time shall friends fight one against another, like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." You see? So, that's where we're coming to, man. Okay? It's like an every man for themselves situation. Alright? It's going to be a time like no other since there was a nation. You see? Alright? And the springs of fountains, they represent, your plumbing systems. Alright? And it also represents your trade routes. Alright? So that's going to, those things are going to come to a halt. You see? And when there's a lack of power, then you won't have access to water, turning on your tap and things like that. Alright? So, Adawan Raza, you were edified. Until next time, Shabbat Shalom to the elect.